Most people watched the video and thought it was cute. A small baby monkey holding a stuffed toy. But if you looked carefully, it wasn't cute. It was survival. In the clip, the baby keeps approaching the older monkeys. He moves toward them slowly, carefully, almost hopeful. And each time, he gets pushed away. Sometimes ignored, sometimes shoved, sometimes lightly struck. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't scream. He just pauses, looks around, and tries again. That's what hurt the most. He kept trying. Because when you're small, you don't understand rejection. You just understand need. He wasn't looking for attention. He was looking for safety, for warmth, for regulation, for the simple biological reassurance that says, you belong here. But it never came. So he did something remarkable. He found a stuffed toy, a small, soft object, and he held it tightly against his chest. And almost instantly, his body changed. His breathing slowed. His movements softened. His eyes looked calmer. And in that moment, the toy became something much bigger than cotton and fabric. It became comfort. Now here's what most people don't realize. The brain does not care where safety comes from. It only cares that it exists. When real attachment is unavailable, the nervous system will attach to something else. Psychologists call this a transitional object, but that phrase sounds clinical. What it really means is this: when no one holds you, you find something to hold. And this is not just about monkeys, it's about us. Because humans do the exact same thing. A child who doesn't receive consistent comfort will often bond deeply with an object, a blanket, a pillow, a stuffed animal. Not because they're childish, but because their nervous system needs regulation. And when comfort isn't consistent, the brain improvises. It creates substitutes, and those substitutes work. That's the part we ignore. They actually work. The baby monkey looked calmer, safer, less distressed. The toy helped. But here's the deeper layer. It helped him survive. It did not heal him. There's a difference. Survival is about getting through. Healing is about not needing to survive in the first place. And many adults today are still surviving. They just don't realize it. They don't hold stuffed toys anymore. They hold distractions, overworking, constant busyness, serial relationships, emotional detachment, social media validation, endless scrolling at 2 a.m. The phone becomes the stuffed toy. The toxic relationship becomes the stuffed toy. The need to always be strong becomes the stuffed toy. Because somewhere in the past, there was a moment when comfort didn't come, and something inside quietly decided, don't depend on anyone. That decision feels like strength, but often it was adaptation. Let me give you something uncomfortable. Imagine a child crying at night. At first, they cry loudly. They expect someone to come. They believe comfort is automatic. But if no one comes, they cry softer, then weaker. Then eventually, they stop crying. Not because they're okay, but because they learned something. Crying doesn't change anything. That child grows up, and people describe them as independent, low maintenance, emotionally strong, doesn't need anyone. But what if that independence was built on early disappointment? What if that strength was built on unmet needs? The baby monkey didn't stop needing affection. He stopped expecting it. And that's what broke people when they watched that video. Because deep down, many recognized that shift inside themselves. There's a moment in life when you stop reaching, you stop asking, You stop explaining. You stop hoping someone will understand. And instead, you self-soothe, silently, efficiently, alone. Now here's something important. Coping is not weakness. Your brain is intelligent. It will always find a way to protect you. If love isn't available, it will reduce your need for it. If safety isn't guaranteed, it will make you hyper-independent. If comfort is inconsistent, it will teach you to regulate yourself. That baby monkey was not weak. He was adaptive. But adaptation has a cost, because when survival becomes your default mode, vulnerability feels dangerous. Dependence feels unsafe. Asking for help feels humiliating. And closeness feels temporary. So you build a life where you need no one. You become reliable, self-contained, emotionally controlled. But late at night, there's still something inside you that wants to be held. Not fixed, not advised, just held. And that's the part most people avoid. We live in a culture that praises independence, but rarely asks, why did you learn to be this independent? Was it confidence, or was it necessity? There's a difference. Confidence says, I can handle things. Necessity says, I have to. One feels powerful, the other feels heavy. The baby monkey didn't choose independence. He adjusted to absence. And here's where the real lesson begins. We all have a stuffed toy, something we use to stabilize ourselves. The question isn't whether you have one. The question is whether it's replacing something deeper. Are you working because you're ambitious, or because slowing down makes you feel alone? Are you detached because you're mature, or because attachment once hurt too much? Are you self-sufficient because you're strong, or because depending on someone once failed? These are uncomfortable questions, but growth always begins with discomfort. The goal isn't to shame your coping mechanisms. They saved you. They carried you through moments you didn't have the support you deserved. But survival strategies aren't meant to become permanent identities. At some point, strength has to evolve, not into isolation, but into safe connection. Real healing isn't learning to need nothing. It's learning that needing isn't weakness. That baby monkey holding the toy wasn't pathetic. He was doing the best he could with what he had. And so were you. But here's the truth no one says out loud. You deserved better. You deserved consistent comfort. You deserved reassurance without having to earn it. You deserved presence without having to beg for it. And maybe you still do. Maybe the next phase of your growth isn't about becoming tougher. Maybe it's about becoming softer in safe spaces. Maybe it's about putting the toy down slowly, not because it was wrong, but because you're finally allowed to experience something real. And that requires courage. Because when you've lived in survival mode long enough, peace feels unfamiliar, closeness feels risky, and trust feels unnatural. But unfamiliar doesn't mean unsafe. It just means new. So if this video made you uncomfortable, good. That means something inside you recognized the pattern, and awareness is the first step out of survival. If you've ever felt like you had to be strong too early, if you've ever stopped asking because asking felt pointless, if you've ever replaced connection with control, then you understood that baby monkey more than you realized. And here's something powerful. You are not broken. You adapted. But you are allowed to outgrow the version of you that survived. You are allowed to experience connection without fear. You are allowed to receive without performing. You are allowed to be held emotionally without earning it. If this resonated with you, if you saw yourself somewhere in this story, then this channel is for you. Because here, we don't just talk about strength, we talk about the psychology behind it. So take 1 second. Hit the like button, not for the algorithm, but as a quiet acknowledgement that you're ready to understand yourself deeper. And if you're new here, subscribe. Not for motivation, but for awareness. Because the rarest thing today isn't success, it's emotional clarity. And if you stayed until the end, comment one word: adapted. Not as a label, but as recognition. You survived. Now it's time to grow. This is the rare you. And strength was never supposed to feel this lonely.